Hello students, welcome to the class of current electricity. We are in the lecture 8 and in this discussion we are continuing our discussion of energy and power. That is heating effect of electric current, and in this I have discussed many questions. In that question only I will continue. I will start our discussion with questions only. Suppose here is a battery and this battery is connected with a bulb here. Here there are in general bulb number 1, bulb number 2, bulb number 3, bulb number 4, bulb number 5 and bulb number 6. All have equal resistance. And you have here the battery with V, and you have to tell arrange the bulb in the brightness order. You have to find. Suppose the arrangement of bulb is in this way and you have to find the brightness order. Now here the I current will go. It will reach here. It will go in this side I1. Here it will be I2. And then resistance, so I2 by 2 and I2 by 2, and in this way, and ultimately I current will, whatever is leaving the battery, that will reach the battery. Now here all of you understand that I is equals to I1 plus I2. Take it as equation number 1. Now if we see the potential difference B point and C point, then VBC must be equals to I1 into R plus R, that is 2RI. Take it as equation number 2. 2R I1. This is the VBC. If we find the DE, this point is DE, potential difference remains the same. So VDE should be equals to I2 into R and R by 2 plus R plus R by 2, that is 3R by 2 into 3R by 2. These two are in parallel and then series. So R by 2 plus R, that is 3R by 2. So you are getting 3 by 2 I2R. Take it as equation number 3. Now as they are in parallel, so VBC is equals to VDE. This tells you I1 into 2R must be equals to I2 into 3 by 2R. So R will cancel and you are getting I1 is equals to 3 by 4 I2. Take it as equation number 4. So we can find I1 plus I2 is equals to I. That means I1 is 3 by 4 I2 plus I2 is equals to I. That means 3 I2 plus 4 I2 is equals to by 4 is equals to I. This means I2 is equals to 4I by 7. When we have got the value of I2, I1 is how much? I1 is equals to 3 by 4 I2, that is 4 by 7 I. So we are getting 3 by 7 I. So we have got I1, we have got I2. Now here I2 by 2, that is I2 by 2, so it will be 2 by 7 I, and it will be 2 by 7 I. Now see, now the problem is solved. This is bulb B1, as I have told. Here the bulb B1 is there. Now I we have got, in terms of I we have got. Now you see, brightness is proportional to I square R. R is same, R is constant. So brightness is proportional to I square. Where the current, that means it is current. So current square is the brightness. So this value is I. So brightness of bulb B1 will be greater than, this is I, and this is your I2 is your 4 by 7. This is so I2 is your B4. B1 is greater than B4, and then 3 by 7 here it is 3 by 7 I. So what we are getting? We are getting then B2 greater than B2 equals to B3, and this should be greater than 2 by 7, greater than B5 equals to B6. So this is the order in which we can arrange the brightness. If 6 bulbs are arranged, in this fashion, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the way also the heating effect of current can be applied to get the brightness of, and you can solve any question, what problems we have made the discussion, you can find easily the brightness level of the bulbs connected in series or parallel or in combination. So this will, I hope that will build you your concept in clarifying the concept on heating effect of electric current. Now we have to do some concept on battery. Battery concept has to be enhanced. If I am taking a battery and here is the external resistance, this is the internal resistance of battery, this is E, this is R. What you will observe that in this battery power delivered by battery is power dissipated here I square R. This is constant. Battery EMF and internal resistance is constant, but this is variable. Power delivered by battery is power delivered dissipated at resistance R is I square R. I is equals to E by R plus R. Therefore, P is equals to E by R plus R whole square R. In order to get maximum power, this and this is constant. In order to get maximum power, what we have to do? We have to do maxima minima concept, that is, for maximum power dP by dr should be equals to 0. dP by dr should be equals to 0. Now what is this? Can be written d dr of E square R plus R minus 2 can be equal to 0. This E is constant. So this can be written as U into V. U into V in the form of that differentiation, you have to do it. So E square R plus R whole to the power minus 2 dr by dr V du by dx plus U dV by dx plus R, and its differentiation will be minus 2 nx R plus R minus 2 minus 1, and then dr by dr. This we are getting, and this should be equal to 0. So what we are getting? We are getting 1 by R plus R whole square minus 2R by R plus R whole cube should be equals to 0, taking E as common. This can be giving you 1 minus R plus R whole square, we will take common, 2R by R plus R is equals to 0. So this is giving you, say it carefully, this is giving you 2R by R plus R is equals to 1, 2R is equals to R plus R, that is R is equals to R. This variable R, this R when changed to such a value that the external resistance, load resistance becomes equal to the internal resistance of the cell, then we are getting the power maximum. And maximum power is how much? Maximum power is how much? Maximum power is E by R plus R whole square into R. R is equals to R, that is E square by 4R square into R, and P max is equals to E square by 4R. So this is the maximum power, and this theorem, when external resistance becomes equal to the internal resistance of the cell, this, and then the power delivered by the battery is maximum. This theorem is known as maximum power theorem. Very useful in understanding the concept, which I will explain with the example. So this is your maximum power theorem. This is your maximum power theorem. It should be clearly understood by you people, and you should understand this concept in a very careful manner for building the concept that the external resistor, which is variable, how it can, what should be the value of this external resistance so that we can get the maximum power. Now I will tell you, two terms are there: power delivered by battery, that is power is equals to VI, and power dissipated by resistor, that is VI is equals to I square R is equals to V square by R. This thing has to be kept into mind very carefully while discussing the heating effect of current. So that has to be understood very carefully. That, and this theorem is known as maximum power theorem. The theorem concept is more important and its application is even more important. So now we will try to see the application of this maximum power theorem, and we will try to understand that how it can be used at different places. Let us take example of power and efficiency. Suppose there is a 10-volt battery having internal resistance 2 ohm and .5 ohm external resistance. This is internal resistance, this is battery, is the external resistance R. If we want to find the power dissipated by the resistor and power given by the battery, let us try to understand. Here R is equals to 2 plus 0.5, that is your 2.5 ohm, R equivalent total. So current I is equals to potential difference 10 by 2.5, that is your 4 ampere. So the output power across resistor, that is I square R, that is 16 into R 0.5, that is 8 watt. Now this is the what you will be getting here across this resistor dissipated. So you are getting the output power to be 8 watt. Now if we talk about the input, that is the power delivered by battery, power delivered by battery, VI 10 into I is 4, that is 40 watt. Therefore efficiency output 8 by 40 into 100, that is 20%. We are getting that in this situation the efficiency is 20%. So it is wastage and this is of no use. This type of circuit is seldom used, or it will be never useful for our purpose. Now second condition I am taking, so you are getting here the efficiency to be 20%. Now second condition what I am getting, I will change this resistance and I will make it equal to this. So in that situation, this was first case. Second case, you see, I am making this resistor equal to internal resistor. This is 2 ohm, this also I have made 2 ohm, and same 10 volt battery is there here. In this situation, if you want the current, I is equals to 10 by R plus R4, that is 2.5 ampere. You are getting the current to be 2.5 ampere. So output is how much? Output will be your I square R, that is 2.5 square into R, that is 2. That means you are getting 6.25 into 2, 12.5 watt. You are getting output is equals to 12.5 watt. If we talk about the input should be equals to VI 10 into I is 2.5, that is 25 watt. So you are getting the input to be, in this situation, second situation, you are getting the input to be 2.25 watt. So in second case, efficiency will be output 12.5 by 25 into 100, that is you are getting 50%. So you are getting 50%. The output can never exceed this value. With the battery of 10 volt and 2 ohm internal resistance, you can never get the output more than power more than this wattage, that is 12.5 watt. That is 12.5 watt. यो भन्दा बढी power संभव छैन यो ब्याट्रीबाट in the external resistance. Now case 3, I will make it higher than this value. Lower, equal. In case 3, I am making it higher. So take it. Case 3, make it higher. Two ohm, 10 volt, make it 8 ohm. This is higher. Now this time I is equals to 10 by 10, that is 1 ampere. So when I is equals to 1 ampere, output what you are getting? Output you will get I square R 1 into 8, that is 8 watt. Input what you are getting? Input you are getting how much? Input you are getting VI 10 into 1, that is 10 watt. So what I mean to say here, efficiency output 8 by 10 into 100, that is 80%. Now you see, by increasing the external resistance, you have increased the efficiency. So here you are getting this as the efficiency. So you should understand it carefully that efficiency and power both are important. We have to make a balance between efficiency and power. We have to do the optimization, and then according to that we will select the circuit. But this type of circuit is seldom being used. Now, if we try to understand the same thing by the graphical representation, the clarity of concept will be more. Let us try to understand how the graphically we can explain this matter in a better way for better understanding. Try to understand the graphical representation of variation of power and efficiency. Just now you have seen that here is the power and here is the external resistance, and you have seen the graph was something like this. At this particular point, internal resistance is equals to external resistance. This is the power and resistance graph. If you see the graph of power and efficiency, here is the same R you are taking. Here, suppose you are taking 100% efficiency. Efficiency is increasing with resistance, and at this particular point, when R is equals to R, the efficiency is your 50% and maximum power can be obtained from the battery. More than this power is not possible. So this is the graph between power and external resistance. This is variable, and this is constant. This is variable and this is constant. So this type of graph is certainly going to help you in understanding the concept in the better way. Now what I would like to tell you, after discussion of power and efficiency, one thing is very important, that the heating effect is being used in particularly in boiling the water, in something like that, in heater and like that situation. So that type of example we should definitely take in order to finish this chapter, for better understanding. So try to understand and get it. Suppose electric kettle is there. Electric kettle. And in this electric kettle, two resistors are there, R1 and R2. When the R1 is used separately, then the time taken by the electric heater to prepare a cup of tea is the time T1. And when R2 is used separately, then the time is T2. Now the question arises here, two questions are there. First, in the kettle, when they are used in series, then find the time. I am trying to generalize the situation. You can take any value of T1, you can take any value of T2, and then you can find the value. So you can take any value of R1, you can take any value of R2, and then you can find the value. But I am generalizing the situation. When they are connected in series, then what is the time? That is T. And second, you might have understood that if they are connected in parallel, then find the time T. This is my question. So if we talk about the electric kettle, What is constant here? A cup of tea is to be prepared. So cup of tea is constant, that means energy is constant. So here energy is basically your constant. I am taking it as E. So E is the energy that is constant. Now, in first case, E is equals to I square R1 into T1 energy in first case. To prepare the cup of tea, this is the amount of energy that is required. In second case, with second resistor, E is equals to I square R2 into T2. T2 time is taken. And in this case, when they are connected in series, same cup of tea is there. So E is equals to I square R equivalent into T. Energy remains the same. Now I have to find the relation between T, T1 and T2. Now here we can write I square R1. R1 is how much? R1 we can take, or better you take it in terms of V square by R, because in parallel V will remain constant. So if we take V square by R, then it will be easier for we people to do it in that way, in a simpler way, because V square by R. So E is equals to V square by R1 into T. E is equals to V square by R2 into T1, T2, and E is equals to V square by R equivalent into T. Now R equivalent is how much? V square by R equivalent is how much? R1 plus R2 in series. First question I am doing. In series it is R1 plus R2 into T. Now put the value. From here we can get R1 is equals to V square by E into T1. Here we can get R2 is equals to V square by E into T2. Put this value here. Put this value here. So therefore E is equals to V square by E into T1 plus V square by E into T2 and into T, this T. So what we are getting? We are getting into, this is T2. So what we are getting? We are getting E is equals to V square into E by V square T1 into T2, and here it should be T. So E will cancel, V will cancel, and we are getting T is equals to T1 plus T2. Here you see. So in series connection, what we have observed? We have observed that in series connection, the time taken is T1 plus T2. If the electric kettle is containing the resistance R1, which takes the time T1 to prepare a cup of tea, it takes the time T2 when resistance R2 is used to prepare a cup of tea, same cup of tea. Then when these two resistors are connected in series, then the time taken will be T is equals to T1 plus T2. That means this is the time to prepare the same cup of tea when both the resistors in the electric kettle are used in series combination. Now we will have to understand the parallel combination. In parallel combination, that is the second portion. Now we will do the second portion. In parallel combination, now see, second case, resistors are connected in parallel. Same you will observe that energy will remain constant. So E, this will remain valid, this will remain valid, and at this position, in the place of this, I will have to use E is equals to V square 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 into T. Here at the place of 1 by R equivalent, I am rewriting 1 by R1 plus. Again put the value of R1. 1 by R1 we can write, 1 by R1 we can write V square E by V square into T1, 1 by R1. Here you see 1 by R1 E by V square into T1, 1 by R2 plus E by V square into T2 into T. So V square will cancel, E will cancel. So what we are getting, 1 by T is equals to 1 by T1 plus 1 by T2. This should be your answer for parallel combination. This should be your answer in parallel combination. That means in electric kettle, if the resistance R1 takes time T1 to prepare a cup of tea, resistance R2 takes a time T2 to prepare a cup of tea, then when they are used in series connection, the time taken T will be T1 plus T2. Whereas if the resistors are connected in parallel in the electric kettle, then the time taken will be T, 1 by T is equals to 1 by T1 plus T2. Hope with this discussion you might be understanding the use of heating effect of electric current in this way. So with this I am trying to end the chapter heating effect of electric current, and hope that it might be helpful for you people in developing your concept in a better way. Practice the more questions and work hard for even understanding the concept in a better way and building the confidence. Thank you. Have a nice day.